Hey, my beautiful singers and also handsome singers, because I do not gender discriminate, and welcome to my video about how to sound like an opera singer. I'm going to give you techniques that you can work on, some warm-ups that you can use to practice to get to the sound that you want. And now, let's begin. Now, first, starting with activation. Jazz hands. Okay, so, my dear friends, according to the U.S. National Library of Medicine, National Institute of Health, using the thorax movement investigation and also the sternocleidomastosis and the scalenes, you use this to add variations of vocal loudness and pitch. Okay? I totally knew that off the top of my head and I didn't have to Google it. I promise. You use that to change pitch. So let's say I was singing here. I'm singing. It's all coming through my throat, right? Let me add activation. I'm singing. And obviously that was push. And also when I started it, it was a glottal attack because I started pushing at the beginning and we don't want that. But just so you know, back to the picture, you use activation and you use the air in different areas of your mouth in order to create sounds that sound different. So when you're doing opera, or when you're singing opera, when you're approaching it, obviously you're going to use a lot more space, you're going to use a lot more air and a lot more activation in order to get that sound. You use this dome-like area, right? Okay, so you use the dome and you use, which is the soft palate, and it rises, and you use kind of like the pharynx area. So it's here, and it's usually placed on top of the note. So you kind of have that like nasally sound, which is where you get the ping, which goes through an orchestra, because people who sing opera don't use mics. I'm like, that's crazy, but you know what? Opera singers I forgot how to say it. I'm sorry. Last the longest out of everybody. Anybody who's into pop and into musical theater, your voice is going to, like, it's not good for you because belting is very bad for your voice. And I shouldn't say belting, but using chest voice instead of using mixed voice. If these are your vocal cords, when you sing, right, they go like this, like, yay, I'm talking. This is what my vocal cords are doing. You know when you clap, what happens? Already my hands are pink. And that's what happens to your vocal cords when you belt. So when you belt for long periods of time, that's where you get nodes and you get all this gross things because vocal cords actually look gross. Guys, have you actually seen a picture of vocal cords? Like, that's the grossest thing ever. Like, let me show you a picture. This is what vocal cords look like. Guys, I mean, like, honest to God, isn't that the most disgusting thing ever? But back to the video. A lot of opera singers also use vibrato, and that just comes with age too. And if you're a singer who's trying to sound like you're an opera singer, but you don't really have vibrato yet, please don't try vibrato because it's a natural thing, because everybody has a natural vibrato. Some people's is a lot, like, you know, Amanda Seyfried? She has crazy vibrato, and anything that she does, I'm like, how does her voice even move like that? And it's beautiful. I'm not saying it isn't, but I'm saying that it's kind of crazy. And some people think that people who don't have vibrato or can't sing, or people who have too much vibrato can't sing, but honestly, I think both is beautiful. So don't force vibrato. You are the best judge of your voice. If it sounds good to you, if you feel good about doing it and it sounds good to you, it's probably good. Using all of that, we're going to go do some warm-ups. Guys, the lighting's so bad here. Like, honestly. Anyways. So what first you're going to need to focus on for me is you're going to need to focus on your breath and breath control, because the big thing about opera is controlling your voice. Anyways, so we're going to do one count for 4, right? So right? So you're going to go for 4, then 6. And then you're going to repeat that as many times as you feel like it. And you can go for even longer. So take a breath in. Your shoulders should not rise. You should feel it in your stomach, and you should feel your ribs expanding. Okay? So one is a very much an activation one. So the main of this is going to be staccato, so right? So it's going to be ha 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 ha, so it doesn't carry through. Because most things aren't going to be staccato, because staccato is usually kind of ugly. It can be artistic, I don't know. So, and I'm not playing the piano for this, only the demonstration for the initial one, and then we'll do a few up. But it's harder. So, ma 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 ma. And as you raise your tessitura, which is the area in your voice where your voice kind of like, you can't use your chest voice, you can't use your head voice, and your voice sounds airy. Make sure you use lots of activation, and you make sure that you use enough, you place your voice in the right place so that it sounds good and that you can keep singing. Now for my favorite warm-up. Okay, so lip trills are really cool because lip trills, you go, right, like a mermaid. Like, you know, this is what mermaids do, right? But anyways, lip trills make you relax your jaw. The jaw is where most people carry the tension in their voice. Using their jaw is a big issue, so when you use lip trills, it forces you to relax your jaw and also puts a lot of less tension on your voice. Yeah. So usually I do this in fourths. You can do it in more, or whatever you want to, but I'm doing it in fourths because I can't play piano. And also because it's good demonstration, and it's also about jumping. So getting from one note to the other, it's about warming up your range, and it's also about keeping your voice so it's not tight, right? And you can keep going after I finish, or after I do what I do normally, and so forth. So.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
And for our final warm-up, it's going to go ma, ma, mi, mi, ma. So now to combine everything. So first we talked about activation, placement, and lastly warm-ups, and being able to feel all of those different things. So then as you approach any type of music that you might see in your life, you'll think about, okay, am I activating my core or am I pushing in my throat? Where am I placing the note? How can I change the placement of the note and make my voice sound better? And third, really, what can I do to practice it? Because singing is like a sport, or like, I don't know how to equate it, but you know, anything that needs repetition, because repetition will make anything better. Okay, guys, bye. See you. Hopefully not. If I do see you and you're not somebody I know, then you're a stalker and that's bad. Okay, bye.